Every single day, a lot of you guys are asking me, Dusty, what are we going to do once the bull run hits? And today, I'll be explaining to you guys two different things. First of all, our strategy. And second of all, our mindset, which also has to do with strategy. But as you can see, the reason I am sitting here right now is not because it's extremely fun. Because even though it is, it's actually to prove a little point, which is you need multiple bull runs for the most part to get to where exactly you want to get, right, for most people. But in this video, a lot of you guys ask me every single day, Dusty, what are we going to do next bull run? And in this video, I want to tell you guys two things. One is a strategy for how to basically make the most out of the next bull run. And second is to give you guys, I would say, a little lesson on mindset. The reason I'm sitting here is not because it's very enjoyable. It's actually very warm. The reason I'm doing that is to give you guys a little perspective as to what I wish for everybody watching my videos. For example, let's start out by talking about the mindset a little bit before I talk to you guys about my exact strategy on how to capitalize the best out of the next bull market. The mindset part is you have to really understand what exactly you want, what you prioritize, and what your goals are. I've said this so many times, but if you don't know where you want to get to, you're going to be less motivated, and the chance of you actually getting it done is rather small. What I mean with that is, let's say you have a goal of making a frick ton of money. If you don't know what you want, are you satisfied with $500,000? Are you satisfied with $100,000? Are you satisfied with $10,000? Because again, what is a lot? And also, let's say you get there. Do you get the easy bejeezies? What I mean with that is that everything comes so easy that you think, whatever, right? Because now effort all of a sudden is a lot more annoying. Point being there, in the bull market, as I said before, it makes you feel like a genius. It makes you feel like the man because, well, the money comes in so quickly. But sometimes it changes your mind where you think, this is going to last forever. If I just continue on like this, it's going to be golden. And then you don't work hard on the sidelines enough to get to that extra level that you kind of wanted to get to but had forgotten. Then again, on an opposite side, I will always put some nuance in there. This whole experience here, it ain't cost that much. A lot of people that I've spoken to said, hey, I just want to retire, live life in a cheap country, just enjoy with nature. Sometimes I think that's the best way too. I mean, one life of mine, I guess, is in Dubai. Very expensive, very fast-paced. And the other I like to, as you guys might know from the video, background always changing, just kind of explore, live life, kind of the chill way a mosquito or a big wasp, whatever is trying to get inside. Yeah. And sometimes you got to also realize that perhaps your goals are in your current environment, and perhaps if you want to change environments, your goals could also change. Anyway, that's just stuff I sometimes think about. But the mindset part is the most important out of everything, just to understand exactly where you want to get to, because otherwise, even if you're in the bull market, you might change your plans. You might not fully understand. You got to really go for it, and things might still go wrong. So let's say the bull market hits. What do we do? And this is the most interesting question, I'd say, because I've explained this so many times, yet people still like to ask me the question of what do you do in a bull market? It's so simple. The only problem is, as I said before, you get complacent. You think, it's so simple, that you don't go for the full potential. To elaborate upon that, if the bull market starts and there's people checking into the house next to me, which is why you might think, Dusty, what are you doing? But I'm looking over because people are looking at me as well, because obviously I'm sitting here in a hammock with a microphone, camera. It's kind of weird, perhaps. But you might think that once you're in a bull, I got to quickly explain everything because I really want the best for you guys, so I got to get the best explanation possible, which is bull market times. Simple strategy is we buy the most shitty of shitty altcoins that will do best at that exact period. How do we know? By monitoring it every single day. Obviously, I tell you guys about altcoins all day on my channel, but at those specific points, you got to be hyper-focused. Double the amount of focus that you usually have because the paradigm, the landscape, it shifts really, really quickly. And so you got to adapt to it. You understand what I mean? You got to adapt to it once you're in it because you don't know the sector that's going to take off up front. So for example, meme season. We made some good money on meme season purely because you're there the moment that it starts and you keep going. You keep going, more meme, more, and perhaps you can even buy the entire sector. You buy every single meme coin. A lot of effort, but it's a guaranteed way, or at least it was, to make money. DeFi season, you buy into most DeFi protocols, you'll probably make a frick ton of money because, as I said before, a lot of projects will go to zero. So if you invest into 100, 80 of them might go to zero, 10 of them might do okay, and then 10 of them are going to absolutely pop off. And honestly, it doesn't matter how many go to zero, it just matters how many pop off and how well they pop off. But the last bull run, I showed you guys many gems on my channel, which did 400x, 130x, 10x, 20x, 180x, all that type of stuff. But the thing is, you have to keep looking for them. It's going to be a hard grind, it's going to be hard effort to locate the specific coins you have to buy. And so I always tell people, right now you can chill, but the moment it hits, you got to be on that laptop, you got to be on that phone, talking in different communities, getting to what the next niche is going to be. Shiba Inu, for example. How do we make so much money on Shiba Inu? Well, the only thing we had to do was just see what other people are buying, see what people are going for, see what the hype is, basically. Shiba Inu was a random bet. There was nothing fundamentally that good about it. Community, though, yeah, they were definitely going in on it. So we look at that, we notice, hey, they're really trying to go hard on this, so you perhaps allocate a little bit more money to it than a different coin where the community is not as tight, as strong. But remember, even though Shiba Inu did really well, and a lot of others that we invested into did really well, like 𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗰𝗍 and whatever the frick the names are of those garbage coins, a lot of failures were in the midst as well. You have to understand that a lot of the dog coins we bought into didn't really do well, but that's fine. So another lesson of mine is always to get comfortable with failure. Understand that a lot of times you will fail, but it's fine, because at the end of the day, you've calculated your risk to reward, or at least you understand that the failure is part of your greater success. If you only want to succeed, you only want to be the best of the best, and not accept failures in the midst, it's good. Ooh, big ass wasp. These are nasty. I really hope this one doesn't go inside. If you really only, I'm not going to edit that out, by the way. I'm just going with the flow here. Enjoying the flow of nature. Why even cut at all, right? People are moving all the time. It doesn't matter. Why even bother? So, to continue on with that story, and this is a very important part. I'm trying to get a leaf here. I also have some fruits, but I won't bother you with eating like in the microphone. Most important part, regardless of what I was saying just now, realize there's going to be many losses in the midst. If you're not comfortable with that, it's very hard to succeed, because everybody that tries to aim for perfection will inevitably end up with rejection of themselves and of whatever work they've done. A good point is, let's say you want to launch something. Let's say you want to work on something. Many people say, hey, I want to do this content creation too. The most important part about making these videos is understanding that a lot of things won't be perfect. Maybe Mr. Beast or some of the biggest creators can deal with the extra pressure of having things nailed to the dot. But if you're not that, you don't have a really big team and you're starting out something, you definitely don't have to aim for that. In the bull market, with your crypto portfolio the same, you don't have to aim to have only the best of the best altcoins. I'd say, hey, only if you have a couple good ones in the midst, you're going to be fine. And many people ask me, so Dusty, would you sell XRP, for example, coin you talk about so much, for some other altcoin? My answer is yes, absolutely. If I notice that there's a way better opportunity for the short term, long term, whatever, I'll definitely take it. People say, well, Michael Saylor, for example, is buying Bitcoin because he believes in the tech. He doesn't care about extra gains somewhere else. And my response to that is, that's fine for him. But at the end of the day, I believe in the tech a lot, but the tech will develop with or without my money inside of it. So Bitcoin, the idea is kind of like a store of value, which is you buy it and you don't really do anything else. With a lot of other coins, it's about the utility that they bring, give, whatever. With XRP, if you have your money in it or not, it's going to move at the exact same pace. And you might even speculate to say that the main purpose is for it to be transacted all the time. If you transact it right now to something else and then buy it back later, well, if in this flip you get yourself more XRP or more dollars, depending on what your base currency is in, I go more in depth on that in my little program. I've been making something which is like a little crypto introductory piece, because even though I think everything ever about crypto, about learning, financial freedom, whatever, can be found online, people for some reason are too stubborn to take my word for it. And I don't mind, because it's your own life. But I really highly suggest, even though I'm not a financial advisor, to sometimes sit down and consider what I'm saying, because I've spoken to so many people that have billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars or are doing extremely well. but I think I've got a general idea of what it takes, or what can be the differentiating factor between somebody extremely wealthy and somebody who has frick all, depending on the choices you have and the life you've lived. Meaning, if you start from absolutely zero, middle of freaking Zambia, $0 to your name, actually minus dollars to your name, you don't have a laptop, you don't have a phone, you got nothing. It's going to be significantly harder than if you're chilling around in America watching this video, from your home that you bought, for example, or you're indebted into, but you bought at least, so you had an opportunity, whatever, right? Or you were born into money, for example, some money, but still some. But then again, I always like this adage of there's always somebody who was born in the worst circumstances than you, who lived a life way worse than you, who did better than you right now. So that will never ever stop anybody, I hope. Just that you were born in the worst situation doesn't mean you got to stop. I see people begging every day, and I don't really blame them because they want to try and make something. I would always say, man, there's some people who've sent me a message every day for I think at least a year or two. There's one guy, I believe, who's actually been doing it for 3 years. Every day. I don't think he misses a day. Where I'm thinking, if you put all this effort into doing something else, you might have actually achieved something. On the opposite side, I can't really blame them for trying to tap from somewhere else. And sometimes you feel bad. You think, maybe I should help. Then again, if you send somebody money, let's say it's, for example, $50, but they're asking for, people ask for crazy things, by the way. Some people ask for $100,000. Some people ask for $200,000. Some people ask for only for a couple thousand, which I still think is insane to ask for. But that's a point on a different note. But sometimes I think, what if you send somebody, because that's the other adage of, if you give a man a fish, he's going to eat it, it's going to be over. If you teach a man how to fish, it's more, And that's what I sometimes think, whereas if you just send them money, nothing much is going to happen. If you teach them something, or if you explain to them what to do, it might be a lot better. Many people just want a quick fix, though. They don't want the actual lessons, they just want the money. To which I say, you're not going to be able to keep the money or make things last better. It might be better for a bit, because now you've got some kachingas. But it might not last, though, which is what you should be working on. But a lot of people think short-term, not long-term, which is another problem of bull markets. They think, you know what, let's make it quick, let's go. You got to understand, a bull market lasts for a bit, usually lasts about a year, but it goes exponentially, and at some point it's going to switch off completely. So you have to understand, it's a long game, a longer-term game. You got to cash out at some point to buy back in cheap. Problem here is that you might forget to buy in cheap, or you might forget to cash out because you think, let me just go with the flow. I see tomorrow. You gotta understand, it's a game that's been lasting for a while. It usually moves in certain circles. And we could talk about the US dollars, the world reserve currency, and things like that, as to how my thoughts have changed with regards to that, and how I now invest a little bit differently. But that's a story for a different day. So once more, bull market, understand what you exactly want, understand the market, understand what the hype is at that time, and act accordingly. And enjoy life, man. Even though you might not be in the position you want to be in, realize that things are pretty beautiful, regardless of where you're at. So yeah.